Hi, I'm Caroline, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Hall's marriage theorem and why it's important, what it is, why I chose that to study. Yeah, and if you're wondering why I'm holding my dog in this video, it's because she's kind of loud in the background, and I've tried this video many times, and it hasn't been successful. So hopefully she won't be too much of a distraction. She's really cute though. Okay, so Hall's marriage theorem was what I chose to study, and Hall's marriage theorem was actually proved and kind of established in 1935 by Philip Hall, who was an English mathematician. He was very, very famous, mostly for his work for group theory and finite groups and solvable groups. He was so well known, actually, that he was selected to be the Fellow of the Royal Society in 1951. And he was even awarded the Sylvester Medal, like a decade later, a little bit later than that. And he was even the president of London Mathematical Society. Sorry. So he was very well known throughout the mathematical community, but he was especially well known for his Hall's marriage theorem, hence the name Hall's marriage theorem. And so why I chose this to study as my final project is I thought I wanted something very specific and concrete. I didn't want something so general and open-ended that I would get lost into it. So I really wanted something that was very specific and easy to kind of navigate, I guess. I also think Hall's marriage theme is very interesting because I feel like it's very applicable to daily life. I feel like so many of our daily life scenarios has to do with Hall's marriage theorem. I was pretty surprised when I started investigating it. I was like, oh, that's like exactly what, I don't know, that's very common, I guess. Because Hall's marriage theorem deals with matching, I definitely feel like it's common. It's like a human question. Like, if there are this many boys and this many girls, how can we match up so that both parties are happy with their partner? I feel like that's a common question. And like even with companies and employees, when you're applying for a job, when you're like a group of applicants applying for many jobs, how can we all be matched up so that a company is happy with who they select and the employees, possible employees, are happy and qualified for the companies that choose them, if that makes sense. It's kind of, Hall's marriage theorem really just discussed matching and how sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not successful. And I thought it was very interesting, which is why I chose to study it. And so in my investigation, I did use an employee and a company question and proposal because I think that's the most realistic. I don't think marriage is actually that common as maybe working or colleges, like students applying and colleges accepting or denying. How can we match them up successfully? I thought it was very interesting, especially with the process, the processes of matching them. I thought it was very interesting, but it was very tricky when a company only wants one applicant, or when an applicant is only desiring one company, because it sets more boundaries and more rules so that the matching is much more specific. And when it's much more specific, you have a higher rate of failure versus if an applicant was fine with any company or a company was fine with any applicant. So I thought that was very interesting. I did think it was really interesting also that Hall's marriage theorem kind of said that matching can best occur when there are more options than those who need options. So it's kind of stating that the individuals are more important than the companies. So it's better to have more companies than more individuals. So every individual ends up getting a company position. So I guess I thought that was kind of interesting because you're saying that the companies are less important than the individuals. So that's what I thought was very interesting too, is that you would put the individuals a higher rank of importance, I guess. Instead of saying that a company might not have an employee, that's better than having an employee not have a company. So I thought that was interesting. Hall's marriage theorem, I also want to say, is very interesting because it is so applicable. I feel like you can do like think about it all the time. Oh my god, hold on, my dog. Come here. I'm sorry. Hall's marriage theorem does get complicated to where it's not always applicable. Like it will fail a lot of times, mostly if like you have so many restrictions, like this company only wants this applicant only wants that company, and that is really when it does fail, or that if there's more, if there's more individuals than companies provided, or more boys than girls, you're going to guarantee to have a boy not have a girl, or vice versa. So that's one of the other things that was pretty difficult about it, but I did think it was really interesting. And yeah, thank you.